Hey everyone, today I have a new plant that I'm going to repot into LECA, and I just want to show you that process because I don't want you to be super nervous about transferring your Hoyas to LECA if you want to use LECA. I don't think you have to, but if you want to, I just want to show you that process. So I got this Hoya from Rick and Swiffer's Hoyas on Facebook. It is Hoya marginata IML 1727. Hi kitty. I'm just going to squeeze the pot a little bit to get it loose and then pull it out. It's got a decent amount of roots. Okay, I wanted to show you the roots for anyone who's new to Hoyas. This is pretty typical for a new plant that you've just received in the mail that you take out of the soil. It was kind of dry. I didn't water it right after I got it, so there's some stringy roots here where the ends are dead. It's not a big deal because Hoya roots grow back pretty quickly if your conditions are good. If you have good soil, or if you're using LECA, the roots will grow fast. So don't be sad if you see some stringiness in your roots or roots breaking off. It's really not a big deal. As long as the foliage looks good, and which it does, this plant looks really good. It had a little damage in the mail, but overall the plant looks good. Then you don't need to worry about minor roots dying off like that. Not a big deal. So yeah, I'm gonna go rinse this off in the sink, and then I'll be back to show you the amount of roots that I'm gonna leave on this plant before I switch it to LECA. Here's what the roots look like rinsed and trimmed. I tried to trim off roots that looked like they were stringy or dead. So mostly what is left are roots that are very firm and healthy, and in LECA, it's going to start growing new roots really quickly. So there's that. Now let's put it into its container. Okay, so I'm back with the plant, and this is the container that I'm going to choose to use. I'm really liking this these days, to have a heavy glazed ceramic pot with just whatever saucer it comes with. Unfortunately, this one didn't come with a matching color. Often the colors are out of stock in my stores. But this is the container setup that I like these days. The heavy pot is good for large leaved Hoyas because this will start to tip over pretty quickly. In my previous setup, I was using a nursery pot and just any kind of container or saucer that you can fit it in for the reservoir, the tiny bit of reservoir that I use. So on a budget, go for this. Nursery pot with anything. Might be like a yogurt lid that you reuse. Just put it under here so that when you water, it will catch the water that happens to come through. So yeah, you don't have to be, this doesn't have to be very expensive when it comes to containers. So don't be searching for like the perfect net pot, cash pot setup. You can use whatever container you have, as long as you're watering frequently enough to keep your plant happy. So here we go. I get a lot of questions about how often I water my Hoyas that are in LECA in this setup, and I would guess that I water them every 5 days, but I'm not quite sure because I don't go through all of my plants and water all of them every 5 days. I walk around with my watering can and I look at the pots and see if the LECA on top looks really dry, then I'll water this. But if it looks like if it's still visibly moist on the top, then it doesn't need to be watered because the root ball is still humid, the roots are still happy. So I just walk around every 3-ish days and check for plants that might be thirsty. And if there's visible moisture down here in the saucer, then you don't need to water. So those are just a couple of clues. Thanks for watching this repot video. If you are curious about Hoyas and LECA, let me know what your specific questions are or how I could be explaining things better. I have a hard time coming up with like a how to list on how to do what I do. It seems like it's just easier to do it and then show you along the way. So let me know how I could be describing this process better. And I hope you have a good day. Bye.